in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness.
So he said, whenever you're hungry, you're thirsty, or you need clothes on your back. We got to go to another race of people just to get those things. Once they took the chains upon off our necks, did we ever leave? No. No. We got black people all walk through America. We built America. Now, my sister, we understand that we're at the bottom, right? Why is that? You don't know. Let's get straight to it. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. Watch this. Watch this. Because it's like your daughter get older, right? And you say, hey, look, I want you to do your homework. For an example, do your homework. What happens if she doesn't do her homework? Huh? She gets in trouble. Watch this.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
So look, he says, if you don't listen to everything that God told us to do, watch what's going to happen, read.
That all these curses.
Now, a curse is a good thing or a bad thing? It's a bad thing. So he said, look, if you don't listen to God, what he tells you to do out the Bible, all these curses are going to come upon you. Give me verse 48, read.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy.
Now, he said we serve our enemies. Are you in chains and shackles today? No. So how do we serve our enemies? Watch this, my sister.
Which the Lord shall send against thee, and hunger.
And what?
And hunger.
If you hungry or your baby hungry, where do you got to go to for the food? The store. Who owns these stores? The government. And who runs the government? Give me Job 9:24. We're coming back. Who runs the government? Is it our people? No. Who is it? You scared to say it, sis? Then who is it? The white people. The Caucasian, right? Read this.
The book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
He said the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Don't they run the world today? They control everything on the world today, but what the Bible calls them?
The wicked.
He said the earth is given unto the hand of the wicked. So what are the white people today? The wicked. The wicked. The wicked. Now go back. Go back. I want you to stay with me.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
In hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness.
So he said whenever you're hungry, you're thirsty, or you need clothes on your back. We got to go to another race of people just to get those things. My sister, real quick, what's your nationality? Keep reading.
And in want of all things.
In one of all things. You got an education, my sister? You got a high school degree? No? GED? Huh? Not yet. But you're working to get one, right? But who do you have to go to get yours? Online, who runs it? Stay with me. Who runs it? Is it our people that you got to go to for this? No, it's a whole different race of people we had to go to for all things. The clothes on your back. Are you going to Tyrone in the hood to get your clothes? No. Are you going to Miss Jackie down the street to get some water? No. So we got to go to another nation for everything we need. Read.
And in want of all things, And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Remember I said earlier, right? You don't have yokes of iron upon your necks now. We don't have chains or shackles upon our necks. But who did this to us? Caucasians. They did it unto us, right? Read.
Until he hath destroyed thee.
How are we destroyed today, my sister? He said, look, I'm going to put the yokes of iron upon your neck until you have been destroyed. Did we come to America as slaves? We did, right? But once they took the chains off our necks, did we ever leave? No. No. We got black people all through America. We built America. So we never left. Showing you what, we are still slaves to this day. When we pay taxes, who we paying the taxes to? The government. What about your last name? What's your last name? Robinson. So your last name came from the slave owner, Robinson, that had a bunch of slaves, and all their last name became Robinson. You know Isaiah 65. Watch this.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 65 and verse 15. And ye shall leave your name for a curse.
He said you shall leave your name for a curse. What was our name before we got labeled as Robinson? You mean Genesis 32? Well, 28. You know what I want. Genesis, read it. Let's do it.
The book of Genesis, chapter 32 and verse 28. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob.
So when you read in the Bible, it said the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob is our forefather. Now watch what God told him. Read.
But Israel.
Say your name going to be no longer called Jacob. I'm going to call you Israel moving forward. Read.
For as a prince hast thou power with God.
So Israel. What you see? He got a name changed to Israel. He had 12 sons, which make up the 12 tribes of Israel. So Israel means you are a prince or a princess that has the power with God. Remember, he said you're going to leave your name for a curse. Show you what, we live in the curses today. We walk around, I don't understand, like, why these things happen to me and my people. But God is letting you know right here, I'm only dealing with you, but I'm trying to make you wake up. Just like if your child was in their playground and she was doing something bad, you go pop your child, you won't go pop everybody else's child, right? Give me Amos 3. Amos 3, verse 1. Do what you got.
The book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel.
So he keeps saying it over and over again. You children of Israel. You children of Israel, read.
Against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known about.
He said, you only have I known of what?
Of all the families of the earth.
So what God just say, my sister? He said, out of all people, you are the only ones I know of all the other races on the earth today. Showing we must be mighty special. But remember, because we broke God's commandments, this is why we suffering. This is why we suffer. Give me Deuteronomy 22 verse 5. You feel like you have a relationship with God, my sister? Yes? How do you have that? Go to church? Okay, what did they teach you in church? Let's start from there. Think about it, huh? They teach you why you special to God. What they say? Because in the church, they're supposed to show you how to get to the kingdom, right? Give me Matthew 19 verse 16. Matthew 19 verse 16. Watch this.
The book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse 16. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life?
So a young man, he came to Christ, just like we're speaking right now. He said, look, how do I get to the kingdom of heaven? These are the questions we should be asking inside these churches in our neighborhoods. Read.
And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one. That is God.
So Christ said, look, don't call me good. There's only one that's good, and that's God. So it's a separation between God and Christ himself. Read.
But if thou wilt enter into life.
But if you want to get into the kingdom of heaven, read.
Keep the commandment.
Do what?
Keep the commandment.
Now, my sister, are they teach you God's commandments in these churches? Okay, give me some. Yes, how you do it? How we keep some of God's commandments? Okay, give me 1 John chapter 2, verse 3. So watch this, my son. I'm gonna wait till you think upon it. I know you still like, they do supposed to teach us, but I can't really name you some because guess what? They're not teaching us. They're not teaching us. Watch this.
The book of 1 John, chapter 2 and verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments.
See that? It all still goes back to keeping God's commandments. God said, if you don't listen to me and keep my laws, I'm going to bring curses upon you. If you want to have a relationship with me, or you say that you know me, you must keep my commandments. Read.
He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar.
What that say? They say if you say that you know God, but you're not doing what he says, you're lying. Now, my sister, what are some commandments they teach in the churches? He said, don't steal. What else? Huh? False idols. Come on. One more. I can't hear you. Adultery. Yes, that's correct. Give me 22 and verse 5. Watch this.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22 and verse 5.
Now I want to ask you a question. Pay real close attention and tell me if this is what they teach as well inside your church, okay? Read.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
So he said that woman should not wear which pertains unto a man. What clothing that women wear today that actually pertains to a man? Boxers. Give me some more. Pants. Pants. Straight to it. It's a zip on the front of your pants, right? Why? We understand why we got a zip on the front of our pants. Right. Because we need to go to the restroom. Guess what we can do? Use a zipper. But why is the zipper in front of women's pants? And by the way, no such thing as women's pants. Pants are just made for men. Give me Esther chapter 28. Watch this. Esther chapter 28. Do what you got.
The book of Exodus, chapter 28 and verse 41. And thou shalt put them upon Aaron thy brother, and his sons with him, and shalt anoint them, and consecrate them, and sanctify them.
You said 42? It's only verse 42.
Verse 42. And thou shalt make them linen breeches.
I should do what?
Make them linen breeches.
So we call it a sock. You ever heard somebody say, hey, pull your breeches up? You never heard that? Damn, I must be getting old. So we normally hear pull your breeches up, meaning what? Pull your pants up. Pull your pants up. Read it again.
And thou shalt make them linen breeches to cover their nakedness.
He said, make them linen breeches to cover their nakedness. Read.
From the loins, even unto the thighs they shall reach.
He said, from the loins to the thighs they shall reach. Come on.
And they shall be upon Aaron, and upon his sons,
and upon his daughters.
Sons, when they come in unto the tabernacle of the congregation.
So he said, look, put these pants upon Aaron and his sons. Did he ever say anything about a daughter? No. No. So what should our sisters be wearing? Skirts? Yes? Come on. Dresses? Now, are you talking about like a dress to go out to the club? That's what you're talking about? What kind of dress? What's a dress? Give me 1 Timothy 2 and 9. Watch this.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 9. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
So he said, women must adorn themselves in modest apparel. What does modest mean? Modest means you're not bringing sexual attraction to yourself. You're not bringing sexual attraction to yourself because if a man sees you and he already sees the shapes of your body, do he actually want you for what you can bring to the table, or he just wants you for one thing? I can't hear you, my sister. Huh? He said it depends. Give me Proverbs 7:10. It's all the same thing, my sister. Because look, if a man sees you, don't I say, I'm trying to dress sexy. Don't I say that? They want to dress sexy, they want to look sexy. So if you're trying to look sexy, what are you attracting to yourself? Sex. So a man will look at you and say, you know what? This is the only thing I want from you. But that's not how it should be. Read what you got.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 7 and verse 10. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot.
He said there met them a woman. Hey, you be safe, my sister. They met him a woman with the attire of a harlot. What's a harlot? Today, they call them throat babies. They call them thoughts. This is what all it is. So when we see a thought, right? What kind of clothing does she have on? Barely no clothing. She's showing all her goods. And not knowing her goods only meant for one man, which is supposed to be her husband. So go back. Read what you got.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 9. And like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety.
It said we must adorn ourselves in modest apparel, shamefacedness and sobriety. So when a man look at you, my sister, he's not going to look at you just for sense. Just for sense, right? Because how many single-parent households do we know in our neighborhoods? A lot. Did you have both parents growing up? You did? Were they married? They was married, right? Give me Hebrews 13 and verse 4. Hebrews 13 and verse 4. Now, I know you're young, my sister. Are you still, you and the baby father, y'all still together? Still together, right? Watch this.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all.
So I'm going to read it again for you, all right? Read.
Marriage is honorable in all.
God said he honors marriage. He loves when a man and a sister come together and get married. That's an honorable thing unto him. So read it again.
Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled.
It said, and the bed undefiled. So whatever their husband and wife to do, what they do in the bedroom, that's all right, as long as they're not breaking the laws of adultery. Read.
But whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge.
Well, he said whoremongers, which is a man that want to sleep with multiple women, or women that want to sleep with multiple men. Read.
God will judge.
How did he judge us? Think about what I asked you earlier. How many do we know that go right now with single-parent households? A lot. That's a judgment from God. He never want our sister to be out here by themselves to raise children. That was never the case. He wanted a man and a woman inside that household.
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, His word.